And just allow each breath to enter and leave with full focus. Feeling the movement of your breath. Feeling the sense of ease in your breath. Feeling the joy within every breath. Following each breath in its entirety, all the way from the very start to the very end. Today we're going to focus on compassion. Compassion is not about sympathy, but empathy and understanding. Compassion is forgiveness and comfort. If we show compassion for those in need, we know that everything will be okay in the end. We give kindness. Having compassion means that you have full understanding. Or even if it's not a full understanding, it's the capability to understand someone's situation. To be forgiving for it. And to show your love and show your kindness. But being compassionate for yourself is just as important as being compassionate to other people. Often we need to share that same kind of sense of being or our values, show the same values for ourselves that we do for other people. So in your practice today, this is one way to show compassion for yourself, is to listen to what your body needs. Give it what it needs without forcing it into a place that doesn't feel right. To be forgiving to yourself if you can't go where you used to be able to go. within a movement, within a pose. When we are compassionate to ourselves, it can often help us to open our compassion up to other people. So you're going to bring a bit of movement into your body. And then on your back, drawing your knees in towards your chest. Give them a little hug or do whatever your body needs right now here. Then we're going to find happy baby pose to start with. So your choices here are either going to stack the ankles on top of the knees, holding onto the feet, the calves, or the thighs. Or if you have a belt around you that you wish to use, you can strap it over the top of your feet and hold either end. Let's say so you're reaching up to find the feet. Another option is if you do have a belt, you can sit yourself in it. If you create a full, like a closed circle in your belt, you can place the other end underneath your lower back. And then once you've set yourself into the position with your ankle stacking over the knees, then you can tighten the belt so then you don't move. So several options. Just make sure your lower back is lengthened. If you feel that it's rounding, then widen your hips, widen your knees. Maybe adjust your hand position to somewhere lower. Exploring the breath whilst you're here, so breathing widthways into the rib cage, into the hips. Breathing out and feeling that anchor down on the floor. Being forgiven to the sensations of tightness that you feel whilst you're here. And take 5 more breaths. At the end of your 5 breaths, slowly release so you have your grip. Remove the belt out of the way. And roll over onto your front. Taking either your arm reaching out where it's long or bending the elbow and creating a 90-degree bend. So this will be the more intense way for your chest, but you can alternatively have your arms straight. And you're going to roll over onto that side. Your top leg, you can choose where you want it to go. If you have the space, you can bend the knee and allow the hip to open. If you feel that your foot is hanging or lifting away from the floor here, and you've got something you can place underneath your foot. That's a nice way to relax into it a little bit more. We don't need to be at the deepest point in our stretch. And then it feels like each inhalation is lifting from the side of your chest. That's in contact with the floor. And then lifting up to the armpit of the opposite arm. The exhalation allows you to melt your body. Taking just 5 more breaths. So if you wish to go a little deeper into the stretch of your leg, maybe try bending the knee to find the foot, adding in a quad stretch. But it's just an option, you don't have to take it. Continue to roll away from the ground. After your 5 breaths, let go of the foot if you've got hold of it, rolling over onto your front. Just taking a moment just to rest on the ground and just feel the effects that that's had on your body. And then rolling over onto the other side. Choosing the arm position to suit you, either flat along the floor or with the elbow bent. Top leg bends and slides behind you, creating extension at the front of the hip. If that feels comfortable for you to do so, you can rest it on anything that you have to create a little bit more comfort. Just observe where in your body you notice sensations right now. Why do you need to be forgiving to yourself? If you wish to go a little bit deeper into the quad stretch, try and find the foot with the hand closest. And then we're taking 5 more breaths here. Gently release the top leg after your 5 breaths, rolling back onto your front. And then lifting yourself up off the ground. Take a few rounds of upward cat and downward cat. Taking as much time as you wish in certain positions or certain places. Feeling free to explore. And then we're going to find swan. So choices here. You're going to bring, doesn't matter which leg you do, one leg roughly the width of the mat. Back leg can stay bent here. or square the hip completely to the floor. Or if you'd rather lay down onto your back, cross that ankle over the opposite knee and draw the bottom leg in, then you can always go for that option instead. If you're going into swan and you want to add in a stretch for your upper back at the same time, the opposite arm of the leg that's in front will thread underneath towards the opposite side, and then you can choose to whether to have your forehead resting onto the floor or whether to turn your eye gaze towards the arm of the hand, the arm that's threading through, to create more of a twist. If you're laying on your back and you have a wall close by or the sofa, then you can always place your foot or leg on the wall or sofa as well, and then it can be a little bit more relaxing if you need it. If you're in swan, keep your hips square towards the floor. So if you're twisting, just notice if you shifted more towards the hip of the leg that's reaching behind. And then see if you can just adjust it so you're evenly placed on the floor. If you're lying on your back, just check that your hips, again, are evenly placed as well. So rocking a little bit from side to side can help determine whether they're evenly placed or not. And with this being a particularly restrictive place for most people, just observe the area which feels the tightest. Tune into that place. And what are the finer details of what you can feel? Sometimes you might even be able to feel the muscle vibrating a little bit. If you do, can you let that area relax a little bit more? So it gives up the fight. Then take 5 more deep breaths here. at the end of your 5 breaths. If you're in the twist, unthread the arm. And then slowly lift your way away from the floor. If you're laying on your back, stay there. And then the same leg that you had crossing over, reach up, take it to the ceiling and find the stretch in your hamstring. If you were sat up, that's if you want to stay laying down, of course. If you were sat up, the leg that was long behind you is still going to be long. You're going to roll onto the butt cheek and then tuck the leg that you were just stretching your quad on, foot to the inner edge of the thigh, and then fold over your long leg, so the one that was reaching behind you just now. Now, if you find this a challenge, you can always place a block underneath the knee. You can also place something underneath your butt cheek if you want to raise the butt cheek up. You can always use a belt or strap around your foot. And that just gives you a little bit of connection that then draws your chest forwards more. If you're laying on the floor and you've got something like a belt to hand, again, you can always choose to strap it around your foot. Feel the inhalation expand the whole of the back of your body. Whether that's your actual back, but also the back of your leg, the back of your hips. So you almost feel all the parts of your body touching the floor. As you inhale, those parts connect a little bit further, a little bit deeper. The parts not touching the floor lift higher towards the ceiling. And then as you let the breath go, you find a place to relax through every muscle in your body. taking your final 3 breaths here. And then slowly walk yourself back to upright. If you were folding over your leg, if your leg was long, do whatever you, if you're on your back and your leg is up, do whatever you need before you transition over to the other side. And then as soon as you're ready, we move into the glute stretch. Either on your back again, or making sure the shin is roughly the width of your mat as you set yourself up. Knee outside of the hip, heel of the foot just underneath the opposite hip, or roughly level width. If you want to place anything underneath your hips or underneath your bum here, then you can. It's always a nice option if you feel like you're going to tip. And as you fold forwards, again we're threading the opposite arm to the leg that's in front towards that side. Can you say a kind thing to yourself whilst you're in this pose? Quite often we often focus on the things which don't quite feel right, rather than the things that do feel right. Is there a sensation right now that feels particularly lovely? Take 5 breaths. reminding yourself of the pleasant emotion or sensation that you've established. At the end of your 5 breaths, make your way out of the pose slowly. If you want to stay on your back, you're transitioning to the hamstring stretch on the same leg. If you're sat upright, drop your butt down towards the back of your mat. Keep your long leg long, tuck the sole of the foot of the bent leg into the inner thigh of the long leg. And then as you square your chest over the other leg, you might want to pull that hip back a touch. And then find your fold using a proxy in any which way that works for you. And if you're lying on the floor in the hamstring stretch, if you're using a belt, you can choose to straighten your knee completely and find a flexed foot, or relax the knee, relax the foot. See what your body needs the most in this moment. And how can you be compassionate to yourself here? Is there something in your mind that you can just rearrange the words to make it more joyful? Instead of observing where it feels tight and uncomfortable, can you change it to just where you need to be kinder to, or how amazing it feels to create length in that place? Or how amazing it is to be giving yourself what you need to make progression and to make improvements. Just taking 3 more breaths here. And then everyone, make your way up into a comfortable seated position. And you could sit with your legs stretched out if you wish to, or bring the soles of the feet together, or just a simple cross-legged position. And then you're going to tilt your head towards one shoulder, and then find the hand on the same side as the way you're tilting to. Place it onto the opposite side of your head, and just encourage a little bit more heaviness in your head to deepen that sensation down the side of the neck. Then the other hand, you can move it around. So first, in fact, let's just try placing it onto the opposite knee, and then pulling the shoulder down as you tilt the head a little bit more. And take the hand to the same side, maybe on the ground, or maybe it wants to lift into the air, your choice. And then feel the reach from the side of your ear all the way down the neck to your shoulder. And try taking the arm behind your back, maybe just gently placing it onto the opposite hip, or sliding the hand up the centre of the back. And gently pushing your head into your hands to return it back to upright. Remove the hand from behind your back, and then we swap sides. But if you need to move your head at all in between and take a little twist, then go for it. And then tilt the head the other way. So you can tuck the chin down if you wish, or lift the head, the eye gaze up. Place the hand onto the side of the head and just guide it a little bit further without trying to force it into a place that feels uncomfortable. It's just there for a little extra resistance and support. Place the bottom arm over towards the opposite leg. And keep reaching from that shoulder all the way down to the fingers. Push your head into your hand just ever so gently, and then move the hand to roughly around the same, just to the side. Again, hand can be up, hand can be down. Maybe a little tuck of the chin to the chest might be what this side needs. You're always welcome to explore. And then taking the hands behind the back. Again, it doesn't have to be all the way up the centre of the back. It can be much lower down. It doesn't have to be anywhere. It just has to feel good. Gently pushing your head into your hands so you return it back to upright. Remove the arm from behind your back. Or have a few little cracks. Anything that you need to do. And then we're going to lay down onto the back. Drawing the knees in towards the chest. I'm going to twist, so you can choose whichever twist works for you. You may want to keep your legs together and then roll them over to one side. You may wish to straighten both legs or bend the knee touch. It doesn't have to be completely straight. Or cross one thigh over the other thigh. Then if you do this, you might want to move the hips towards the direction of the mat that you're going to turn away from. The top leg goes towards the opposite side. So whichever one of those twists feels better for your body. Wherever you are, try and keep your shoulders grounded to the floor. If you have any space underneath your knees that you want to fill, place a cushion or blocks there, or maybe the space is under the shoulder. Allow your inhalation to be completely full. And the exhalation, allow you to let go. Now the inhalation is full of compassion. It's full of the love that you have created for yourself and for others. The exhalation is the forgiveness. Forgiveness for imperfection. Because we never need to be perfect. Taking one more deep breath in here. And enjoying that breath out. And then transitioning to the other side. Taking your time to roll back up to the center. If the legs are crossed, uncrossing the legs. If the hips are shifted over to one side of the mat, move them over to the other side of the mat. If you're crossing, allow the legs to fall towards the opposite side to the leg that's crossing over. You can fill any space. Should never feel like a strain. Should always feel nourishing. Just taking the last few breaths here. And then slowly rolling over onto your back, or choosing any other position that feels comfortable to spend your last few moments in. And then breathing deep breaths into your body. In through the nose. Out through the nose. And you can choose, or not to choose, to say this mantra into your mind as you breathe. As you breathe in, I have compassion for those around me, and as you breathe out, and I'm also forgiving. So as you breathe in, I have compassion for those around me, and as you breathe out, and forgiveness. Just taking one final deep breath in here. And breath out. And then slowly bring awareness back into your body, doing whatever it needs. Slowly bringing yourself back into your day.